So, hi everyone, very good morning and welcome to this midweek market review. As we get to see what are we expecting, what have we been expecting for the week, and what are we looking out for as we approach this being the midweek. So, as we get to approach the end of the week, remember this week is a very fundamental week. We'll be having the non-farm payrolls being released on Friday. So definitely we will be expecting quite a bit of volatility for the dollar and all the USD pairs. So starting off, we do have GBP USD. As you can see, the kind of structure that I am watching out for on GBP USD. So this is the structure we are working with. We've seen price eventually break below this demand area here. This has been a very key area of this has been a very major demand previously, as this was when price broke above, this was a retest, then a continuation of the rally higher to this supply. Then this supply was the origin of this whole drop all the way to this demand. So our working range has been from this demand to this supply back to this demand. Then when price pushed from this demand again, it got to these highs. You have these highs here, you have this high here, and also now you have these highs here before eventually now pushing all the way down and eventually eventually breaking below this demand and forming the lower low within this area. So you had price come retest this area, then push to the downside. Now price has formed a very strong rejection week and now is pushing back to this area. I still anticipate a potential bearish push to the downside. We have a solid candle close both on the 4 hour and the 1 hour. If you come to the 1 hour time frame, you can see what we are looking at here on the 1 hour time frame. So even as price comes back to retest this area, I'll be expecting a retest of this. I'll be expecting a retest of this supply before now a potential push to the downside. Okay. So let's observe and see how price reacts within this area here. I'm looking at a potential push to the downside, and the next area of interest will be if you come to the daily as well. Even on the daily, we do have a candle close below this area here. Okay, this is the daily time frame, and on the daily you can see we do have this. The daily you can see we do have this. So our major range has been from this supply, our working range from this supply all the way down to this demand, which is now this. This was the previous origin of the whole rally all the way to this major supply area up here. So this demand is a very key level of interest. So I'm expecting to see price rally all the way to this supply. So price rallying all the way to this supply. Then now we are looking at now that price is broken below this, we are looking at a retest before a potential continuation to the downside. Okay, so let's observe and see. Let's observe and see how price reacts to. Let's observe and see how price reacts to this. So if you're looking out for potential positions, this is your trade, and your target will be this demand area here, 1.32750 areas, which is this level here, based off again the 4 hour and the daily. Because again, this demand area, can see this is where price rallied from all the way to this supply. Because the major range from here is from this supply all the way down to demand and back to this level here. Okay, so let's observe and see how price reacts to this. Then you have here you have NZD USD as well. So NZD USD, if I zoom out, this on the 4 hour time frame, if I zoom out now just to make it more clearer, you can now be able to see what are we expecting on this. So for NZD USD, we do have more like a breakout retest continuation kind of scenario, whereby we have something like this. So price comes and reacts from this area here. So you had the break below this demand, this demand area here, this demand area here. So now we've seen price break below and form a lower low. We saw the first retest, price pushed down, then rallied all the way to the premium of this level before eventually now breaking below. I've been pushing below and now forming a lower low below this structure. So now for this one, I'm looking at a potential retest of this. because the first time we had looked at this was last week at around these areas. Yeah, so I'm looking at a retest of this before a continuation of the rally lower. I mean, sorry, a continuation of the drop lower, not a rally. A continuation of the drop lower. The first area of interest is these lows of 0.58 thousand. The next area of interest is price breaking below. I'm looking at price breaking below this. And now coming to this next area due to this next demand on the daily. That is at 0.57 200 areas. 222, let's say 200 areas. This level here will be the next major level of interest that I'm looking at price coming to. Okay, once that move starts happening. Okay, we have that. Then let's have a quick look at USD. Let's have a quick look at Euro USD. So this is Euro USD. As you can see, I think Euro USD had already tapped our target from this was Tuesday's drop from here all the way till this demand. So currently, we are waiting to see how price reacts at this demand because we've seen multiple pushes to the upside. We've seen multiple spikes to the upside. So I'm expecting to see will price hold at this area or will it break and keep pushing lower. Currently, you can see we are still holding here. So price is pushing to the upside. But for how long will this demand level hold before eventually it gets taken out? If it gets broken, then we'll be looking at a potential push to the downside. But first, let's observe and see how price reacts. Let's observe and see how price reacts to this because for this one again the major range is from here the major range is from this supply here all the way down to this demand and back to this supply. Okay, so we have that. Let's observe and see how price reacts to this. Then this is on Euro USD. Let's have a quick look at USD CHF. Yeah, for USD CHF, still expecting price to push higher. However, for this one, we've been in quite a bit of consolidation, so there's not really much about it until you actually see some proper structure on this. Then USD CAD, if we come to USD CAD, let's see what we have. USD CAD. For USD CAD, you can see we are pushing higher. So the first area of interest I'll be looking at price coming to is these highs here. There's these highs right here. There's these highs here. Then there's also these highs up here. So the highs of 38,600 will be the first major area of interest before either price pushes higher or reverses. So let's wait and see how price reacts to this. But this is my major target, 38,600 areas, 1.38,600. So let's wait and see how price reacts to that. Then we have Euro GBP. Then lastly, I cover NAS and US 30. So for Euro GBP, this is what we have. You can see price has been reacting from this area here. It's a level that I've been closely looking at from Monday. So this demand area here, this is the retest. So we're expecting to see price fill this range all the way to 0.87 for 100 areas for this range to be filled. So for Euro GBP, we are quite bullish. Okay, we're quite bullish expecting this range to fill because our working range is from this supply to this demand back to this supply. Just like what happened there from this supply to this demand back to supply. So back to a drop to demand. Now you're seeing price pushing higher. For that range to be filled, we'll be expecting to see a rally to supply all the way to the levels of 0.87400. So that's the major target. Then coming into NAS 100. Coming into NAS 100, you can see we saw price drop from this structure here. Pushing we saw price drop from this structure, pushing all the way down to these levels of 23,000 areas here. This is the levels of 23,000 areas here. Like this was the key target, but then there was also this structure here. So I'm looking at price coming back to these level of 23,500 before you either see a potential push to the downside or a break above and price keeps pushing higher. Okay, so we have that. Then lastly, we have US 30. So this is US 30. So for your starting, we've seen price, this has been the working range that we've had. So price has been reacting from this level to these highs. We had the breakout, retest, continuation, failed to take out the highs, price came back. This will have been a very good area for potential buys all the way back to these highs of 45,700 areas. So something like this, and your target still at these highs here. Okay, so let's wait and see how price reacts to this, but I'm expecting a potential bullish push back to that area of interest. Okay. So with that, guys, let's wait and see how price reacts to the various pairs that we've talked about. So remember, this is NFP week, but you have to be very cautious how you approach, especially on Friday. So today is on Wednesday. Midweek we have today, we have tomorrow. Then on Friday, we'll be having NFP. So in case of any updates, I'll be sharing the updates either here or here on the Discord here. You do have the private Discord here. Then all these analyses as well to be able to understand how I usually look at these markets. I've had a blog. I do have a public blog here that is chasecapitalke.blogspot.com. Then this is a private Discord here where I share. You can see how I share my setups very in depth. Not signals, very deeply detailed as it comes. Okay. So with that, guys, I'd like to wish you all a very, very great day and week ahead as you get to scout for potential opportunities in the markets. Stay blessed and stay financially literate as always, and let's catch up on the next one. So see you everyone, and cheers.